Okay, today I'm going to look into getting the anti-roll bar in. So I gotta jack it up and put it on jack stands. But I think right here is where it's gonna go, and I'll show you more later. It's gonna mount up in here and hang down across the back here. So I'm gonna get it prepped up, get it jacked up and ready to go, and then I'll check back later with you. Alright, so right here, for a better view than before, I think it's got to go up against this, and right here I still got to go get it out. Then it goes across this way, and I got to remove that and put it up against right here. And then I think it hangs down and comes to the back here, which means that line might have to move. I wish it would go to the other side. That would have been nice. But it don't, so I'm gonna go get it and unbox it and bring it over here soon. I think I might remove this though first. This looks like it's on a rivet. Anyway. Okay, this is the box that I'm going to show you for that the anti-roll bar came in, and it has these angled plates. It's supposed to just slide right up in there according to the stuff I watched. In there. There's all the hardware right there. So I'm going to get this taken apart to get this stuff off of here and get back under the car with it and test fit it. Well, the fit has a little bit of play, probably 1/8 of an inch, which will back it up off of the paint, and that might actually help. I'm going to get a marker and mark these, and so I can clean the steel. Alright, so you can't see it, there's not much light there, but let's see where I made the marks. And I'm gonna grind there and smooth that out on both sides. That side too. And according to everything I've been looking at, it goes in like that. Up in the corner. Just like that. Not like this. That's too low and too far forward. And not like this. That's just too low. That's too low. It's supposed to go over here on this side. This one is up in the corner. And I didn't have big enough clamps, so I got these pieces of metal, and I'm gonna try to use those to help clamp it down. Yep. Okay, so well, it does not. Oh, where's it at? Fit perfect. That's a heck of a gap to weld. And if I was to try to force it flat up against the frame, it would put it in a bind. This one is a bit better. It's a little better. See, I'm gonna have to make sure, because I don't think it's supposed to go back over the top of this. But that would explain why that's angled such a bad angle. Well, it moves about as freely as it's going to, I think. So I'm gonna tack it in, and so it quits moving so much when I'm trying to mess with it. I have to move it by hand. It doesn't flop in the wind like some of the videos that I saw. So I'm gonna grab some gloves and tack it in. Well, it still moves. That's good. Says in the instructions that I should be able to bend these to conform to the frame. I better tack them in better than that though before I start banging on them specific spots. I'm going to, so that this doesn't move with bushing. It's all welded in, and it still moves. It's kind of hot still. I hope it still moves when it's cooled down. It moves a little harder than it did before I started welding. So we'll see. I'm gonna get the links and try to set those up. This is about as far down as the suspension goes. It's probably bottoming out on this shock here. So, and this is almost all the way straight down. So it's as far down as it's gonna go. So I guess I'm gonna put these in, and then since there is no springs, on it, I can exercise the suspension and see how it works. So that's about where they're gonna have to go. I'll have to clean that off enough to weld it up there. I gotta say, the quality of the LMR, I don't know if it's their workers or what, but that's clearly thinner than the rest of them. So what did they do? Just grab it out of another pile so they could complete the order, or what? It's ridiculous. These two are the same. Not the only complaint I got, I guess. Besides that they were stuck. Okay, so I got it all welded in. This still moves. It's cooled down where you can touch it. Still moves. Without a bunch of force, but it doesn't flop around, so there's that. So these are still kind of warm because I welded them in place. So I'll put those back together soon enough and then articulate it. Got some fuel line issues that I'm gonna have to deal with. Probably there's, very little room there, and some of these lines got to be moved. But there's, probably an inch there, and look how far into the tire that is. When I bang that fender out, or when I bend that fender lip out, I'm gonna be able to sink down another inch or so, and probably more. So we're a couple inches from the stops, and I'm not sure with my spring rates and everything if I'll ever even get onto the stops. So this one's actually a little bit closer. I don't know. Well, maybe not. But we're up into the, I guess I could probably force it a little more. Okay, now we're probably scraping the tires pretty good now. There. I don't think it's ever going to go that low. We'll see when I get my ride height adjusted. When it's like this though, when it's down that low, the angle of the uppers are pointed down quite well. kind of hard to get an angle that you can see that they're pointed down. But there is probably 1.5 or 2 inches difference. Oh, here we go. See how much they're pointed down when it's that low? So lowering the car, and then look at this. With this in the third notch, all the way down, or all the way up into the wheel well, and it still has an upward movement, which is what you want. So when you lower the car, you have to lower this also to get your instant center right. So if I lower this 1 inch or 2, that'll actually get it where I'm going to want it for ride height, which right there would be great. If I was to bend that with the fender bender that I bought, and that creates enough movement there. Although then if I'm riding it on the road, it still might cause issues. Where is it? There it is. You can see my ugly welds too. I'm not a very good welder. But let's drop it a little more. Now, they're just slightly down, slightly pointed down, maybe 1/2 inch pointed down. And that's my height on the wheel. So I'm definitely going to want to have it lower. I don't want to have it lower than this. But there's a bolt here and a bolt there, so I guess if you go straight across, this bolt is here actually, so there's still like a 2 inch difference there, maybe more.